Welcome back to King's Backyard Farming. Today we're talking our irrigation again. So in the orchard we've been using the Rimulus T-tape. So we're supplying some of this at Tyre Power for you to go and get. But if you don't live in Katherine, we need some other options. So today we've got David Moore from Top End Rural to come and explain to us what you can purchase for your home garden that will do the similar job to what this will do. So I'm here with David Moore from Top End Rural on a big highway. He's going to show us some great stuff for our garden that you can just get from an irrigation supplier, preferably Top End Rural.
That's correct. Thanks, Mitchell. This is a beaut new kit, watering kit for veggie gardens, for the small veggie garden. Does about 10.5 metres of veggie garden. The kit's very simple to install. It says 20 minutes, but you'll be struggling to take that much time, I believe. Comes with a tap connector.
I can hold that.
Right, go straight over to Mitchell.
There's a little filter in there too.
And the dripper tube. Now the dripper tube has drippers every 300 millimetres, and that's where your water is emitted. At one end, it's blanked off, and at the other end, Mitchell's going to screw that in.
To the emitter. Just screws onto there. And that goes...
The kit comes... Oh, sorry, that goes to tap.
Tap?
Did we bring a tap?
We did, but it's got the wrong size fitting.
Oh, has it?
So, David, how many litres an hour per metre is this one?
1.6 it puts out. They all
1.6.
put out 1.6, the ones we've got.
Yeah. So that's very similar to what we had on the
T-tape.
On the T-tape. So it's a really good product. You can see the little emitters inside there. So it's regulated. So everyone's going to put out the right amount at the right time.
You can actually put a joiner on the end and add another 10.5 metres by buying another kit.
So you've got all that stuff in stock, the little joiners and everything?
Yep. And the kit also comes with these little wire pins, so you can slot over and pin it in place so that you can put it near your plants if you require. Now, generally you'd run it down the middle of your garden bed, but depending how wide it is, of course, but keeping in mind this is a small system, so for a small backyard or a small front yard or a small patio. So the pins are supplied in the kit, just go along, push them into the dirt, hold it in place.
Yep. So when we've got the T-tape, which is similar amount per dripper or per metre, and we're running those on our soil for 6 hours every day.
Right.
So what we've done in the garden, we've put 2 rows so we can get that to 3 hours.
Yes, right. Okay.
So the same thing would apply to this. If we need to get more water on, you put these closer together.
Yes.
Yep.
So you can run them side by side and alternate so that the drippers are at 300. You could run another line, a loop, and come back and put a dripper in between so that you've got. So the instructions come with it. You can add a tap timer to that, and then plug it to your tap, and that'll make it automated for you, so that when you go to work, it's watering.
Is there a limit to how many of these you could put together?
Yeah, there will be, because the tube's small. So if you wanted to expand your garden beds further, I'll show you a bigger tube that'll carry a larger volume and carry it a lot further.
So here's your second option.
Yes.
What's this stuff?
This is Tech Line from Netafim. Again, it's 0.3 spacings for the emitters. So the emitters are the drippers, they emit the water.
Yep.
And again, it'll be coming out at 1.6 litres per hour.
So it's the same as that little tiny one?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Only this is a 100-metre roll. So if your veggie garden's getting a bit bigger, and I would be recommending it this size. Garden beds, you would be using this.
Yeah.
It's heavy walled as opposed to the T-tape.
Yeah, well the T-tape is a single use.
Yes.
So we put it down at the start of the season, we pull it up with the plastic at the end.
That's right.
Well, this you could use year in, year out if you cleaned it.
Yes, yes, that's correct. If you've got town water, you won't even have to worry about cleaning them.
All right. So if you've got some limey sort of water, what would you have to do?
You use a mixture of hypochlorite and water through it, and
Yeah.
let it come out to the dripper only, and then switch it off, and that's enough to clean it. This is 13 mil, half inch in the irrigation game. It's 12 mil, 13 mil, half inch is all the same sort of stuff. It's a pretty broad measurement system. I've bought a nut and tail just to show you that you can push that into there and screw that up to your tap, or through your tap timer, and away you go again. And again, you can get, preferably again from my store, Top End Rural Supplies, tees, elbows, whatever you like.
So we bury the T-tape about that far under the ground.
Yes, right.
Can this be buried, or is it going to block
Certainly.
up?
No problems at all.
Yep. So you could do exactly what we did here when you saw us laying the irrigation in the garden. You could do exactly the same with this. Put it under the ground. It's not going to wriggle around and move around then, and you're delivering the water to the root zone.
And again, if you decided that you wanted 2 rows, and it depends on what vegetables you're growing, you can run it back and zigzag pattern it again, so off centre the second line.
Now this one here, like the T-tape, we said that you've got to be very careful about how much pressure you put through it because it will split. So this one here is a lot more simple to use than the T-tape. You've got to be careful with the T-tape. In the commercial, we are careful. We've set up to do that. We've got pressure regulating valves. We've got everything in place so that we can't overpressure it. But in the garden, it's quite easily overpressured. If you are more comfortable, this is quite cost effective too, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is not a big expense, but you buy this, you put some hydrochloric acid through it at the end of the season and just let it clean out and roll it back up. You can use this year in, year out. You can get a little tiny inline filters, can't you?
Yes, these emitters do have a little zigzag pattern filter inside them.
Yeah.
As well, just to take out a little bit, but prolonged.
It's best not to have it in there.
From that, it will damage them.
Yes. Yeah. On our orchard, we are so blessed with the fact that our water is absolutely clean. We don't even have a filter in our water at all, even for the T-tape, which every time the rep comes around, he's going, ooh. But we've never ever had any problem because we've got a fantastic bore that just keeps pumping very, very clean water. Alrighty, so what have we got here, Dave?
These are Toro Reuterbird sprinklers. They're basically standard issue for orchardists throughout Australia, actually. Some orchardists have a different brand, but they work
micro
very
sprinkler,
similar. Yeah, I didn't want to mention that. You've got Netafim ones.
We
Super
do
nets.
have. We got some of these.
Super nets.
We got some of these.
So these are ideal if you don't want to use a dripper system and you're happy to use sprays.
Now these won't be of any good if you're putting plastic.
No.
Because it can't penetrate through the plastic.
That's
but if you're using mulch to do the same job.
Yes, these are the go.
These are
either.
fine.
You can still use either. These have a varying throw, but look, basically 2.4 metres. Now I'm twisting this little thing, which we probably won't be able to see, but this one has a deflector. And that actually reduces the throw by half, so it'll only throw 1.2 metres.
Yep. So that one's a permanent deflector,
That's a permanent deflector. Well, it can be actually broken off once your plants get bigger.
I know, in the orchard we put a small tree in, we have the deflector on.
That's right.
And as the tree grows, we just go and break the deflector off and then we
That's right.
We spray
so
out.
The bigger the root zone, the less requirement for a deflector.
Now what's this gizmo you got stuck on this one?
That's a 180 degree deflector, so we've got deflectors everywhere.
We're deflecting everything.
But that just cuts your full 360.
So if you're up near the house wall or on the path, along the path.
Or you're going to put them along your garden bed and you don't want to throw so far, you just clip one of these deflectors on. They just clip on and off, so you can actually, it gives you an option to change your garden irrigation design layout. And
So in the orchard when we're doing these, we just use the stem of that.
that's right.
Press in, but don't press too hard because it will go through and punch the other side. We just press in a small hole and then we push that and it clips in.
That's correct.
It doesn't leak.
I recommend people put it in on a bit of an angle rather than going straight up and down so that they don't punch a hole.
That's a good idea.
Punch it in sideways and that'll push in. They don't leak. Away you go, ready, simple to use, simple to install.
Yeah.
And
they're a very fine droplet, so unlike a clacker sprinkler, you're going to have big drops coming down, and if you've just planted something fine in the soil, it pushes the soil around, whereas these are very fine droplets like misty rain, isn't it?
And look, the colour on the sprinkler denotes how much it puts out.
Just because you see a sprinkler going, so this is, what did you say these are?
36.
36. So every hour you've got 36 litres of water going over a 2.5 metre radius.
That's right. Yes.
So it's quite an area.
Yes.
So it's not much, and in the territory we can have up 16 mil of evaporation. So if you're putting 36 on, you could be evaporating a lot of that before it actually becomes beneficial. So a larger one with a bigger droplet, it's getting more water onto the ground. And I'd also suggest you do this at night.
Yes.
To save some of your water as well. All right, here's one we prepared earlier.
It is, yeah, inch.
The third option that we got, fourth option, third option of drippers.
Yes, we're back. Yeah, we'll have to shuffle that, won't we?
Yeah. All right, so what do you got there, Dave?
Right, I have a Toro Turbo Key, 4 litre an hour dripper.
So that's quite a bit more than what we currently
have
got.
Yes, compared to the 1.6.
Yeah.
This dripper puts out 4 litres, it's pressure compensated, so it will put out 4 litres a day every day for the rest of its life.
As long as you put enough pressure there to do that.
That's right, you've still got to run the water.
Yeah.
And if you've got dirty water, you can unscrew it and clean it.
Oh, that's handy.
Yes.
That's very handy.
Now,
so if we were using those instead of the drip line,
yes.
This is a inch poly, but you could get, what's the next, 19 mil?
19 mil.
19 mil?
3/4, yes.
3/4?
Yes.
You could run a 3/4 poly, and where you're going to put each plant, you just push one of these into it. So if you want to show how difficult that is.
Orange punch, it might be standing up. We push the punch in.
Yeah, so you get the hole there, and then you just push that into a clip.
And that's
so now you've got one dripper. So if you're putting tomatoes in, you put one right near where each tomato is. But this one's 4 litres an hour. So the other one that we've got in is a 1.6 litres per metre an hour, whereas this single dripper is 4 litres an hour. So you've got to work out how much water you're putting on. So this one here wouldn't need to be on anywhere near as long as what we're doing.
Depends on your soil, of course. So
yeah.
If your soil's
sandy,
very
like this,
sandy, it's going to disappear.
Yep.
And you'll need to leave it longer till the water level actually builds up so that the plant's got it around it. So if you're running that line, let's say down the middle of your garden bed and you had plants either side, you can use it directly into the line, or you can, hopefully. I only bought one today.
Yeah, don't,
a bit light
not too extravagant.
Yeah.
So that one out the way.
We use 4 mil dripper tube. No, I wanted that.
Mr. Wolf, you should have caught that. Now what are we doing?
So if we're running that down the line and we want to put the dripper off the line, we can put the dripper into a 4 mil tube, like that.
Yep.
And at the other end, I want to try and sell this again.
I'll put the same little plug like on the end of the dripper.
Put a little adapter, a 4 mil joiner basically, and that goes into our earlier prepared hole.
Now this is an ideal, if you've got a patio with some pots and everything, you can run a line all the way around and just run one dripper into each pot.
Yes.
And put a timer on.
That's it.
So timers are very, very, very handy. And they're really cost effective. This sort of timer is very cost effective now compared to electronic one, although that one probably is too. But the restriction, like we're saying we want to run this for 3 hours a day, this only does 2 hours. So you'd have to turn it on, let it do 2 hours, and then come and set 1 hour. Now what's the difference between this one and that one, Dave?
That's a mechanical timer. 2 hours only. This is a digital timer.
So you just turn that gizmo there?
Yes. Yeah.
Somehow?
Yep.
Oh,
Slide-
press the
push
button
that
there.
in,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
That's it.
Now that'll stay on for whatever you set it to.
Ticks away. Yes. So this is a 7-day.
Oh, it's a bomb.
7-day timer.
Righto.
Battery operated. Two AA batteries.
Yep.
Lasts a long time. It's got a manual button, so you can sneak in, and if something needs water, you just push the button and it'll water for the time you've got set. And as I said, 7 days for as long as you like. Simple to use. Really simple to use. Yeah, it's a snapshot timer from
Yep.
Toro. Yeah.
Righto.
So more expensive than the mechanical one, but you do get
Would it be double or what?
more
than
than
double.
double. Yeah.
But you got much more control.
Yes, and this is watering every day. When I say 7 days, you don't need to touch it. It'll water for 365 days, but you can choose your 7 days. So it's either 7 full days or Monday, Wednesday, Friday if the water restrictions are on.
Yeah.
So you can program it to do those 3 days, and you can program it to come on at any time you like. So
Alrighty.
screw straight your tap, and
you plug your hose
you
on
can
underneath.
either plug your hose in, or you can plug your drip system or your sprinkler system into it directly.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so well, thanks a lot, Dave. So Top End Rural is on Vic Highway, heading out,
Vic Highway and Catherine.
Heading towards Kununurra.
That's right. Yes. We're
So
last
it's about
on
the
left.
last shop on the left.
We are the last
So,
on the left.
And they've got all your you're not just commercial. You're there for
Everybody. We just
Everybody.
do water. So we do pumps, sump pumps, pressure pumps, house pumps, boil pumps, irrigators, everything. Every pump you can think of, we do pump. We just handle water. We're the water experts.
so getting it out of the ground, putting it in a pipe, and getting it to a sprinkler, and timing it and everything. You got
Yes.
everything to do with irrigation.
That's right.
So I keep saying it through this series. The biggest thing I see when people ask me to look at their gardens that aren't growing properly, most of the time it's a lack of water.
Water. That's right.
So, all right. Well, thanks a lot, Dave,
Thank you.
for coming out, and we'll get you out again, and we can talk fertigation next time, I reckon.
Oh, rightio. Thank you.